So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, continue our sixth lecture of Pharmacy Act 1967. So, now let's start with the section 17. Now, 17 is section related with the function of the central council. Function of a central pharmacy council or Pakistan Pharmacy Council, because it is established under the 1967 Act. So that's why now the Provincial Pharmacy Council has to have to find their functions under their bylaws. They may have the same function. The functions of Provincial Pharmacy Council are a little different than the Central Pharmacy Council. So first, Section 17 says the functions of the Central Council, what it has to do with Pakistan Pharmacy Council. The first is that 17(1) states the functions of the Central Pharmacy Council shall be A, 17(1)(a). Now, whenever you have to read these sections, you have to read jointly. So, whenever you ask A, you have to say that 17(1)(a). What it states, what it says, to approve examinations in pharmacy for the purpose of qualifying person for registration as a pharmacist. They have prepared approved the examination criteria, whatever required for their for the registration of a pharmacist, about the courses designed accordingly. Earlier there was a B Pharm of 3 years course, then they have extended up to B Pharm 4 years, extended. Now they have revised the courses up to 5 years as per the international standards. So it is up to now 5 years of 10 semesters. So what they have to do? First, 17(1)(a) to approve examinations in pharmacy for the purpose of qualifying person for registration as a pharmacist. Whatever they need, examination criteria, examination subject in academic, consultation academic. So they have to approve examinations. Which type examination? Nowadays only in certain universities B Pharm is there 4 year, in certain universities Pharm D. But now in all universities, the courses are of Pharm D, pharmacy doctors over there for 10 semesters, equal to MBBS, that is also 5 years, and there's deputy is also 5 years, because in international education system, they have, I think, more than 48 of credit hour or 62 credit hours. You can check over there. So to meet the international standard, they have approved the course for pharmacy as a Pharm D for 5 years or up to 10 semester, whatever it is. Now, Section 17(b) says to prescribe the subject in which approval shall be held. First, examination. Second, the subjects which approved examination shall be. So whatever you are learning about this forensic pharmacy, it is also approved by the Pharmacy Council. It is not added by the university, it is added by the Pharmacy Council of Pakistan. So this forensic subject, 717, is added by the Pharmacy Council of Pakistan. So what? 17(1)(a) approved the examination. 17(b) is 1(b) is the to prescribe the subject in which approved examination shall be held. Whatever that syllabus they have to prescribe by the Pharmacy Council of Pakistan. Then 17(c) says to approve the courses of study and practical training in pharmacy for the purpose of admission to approved examination. Courses of study and practical training in pharmacy for the purpose of admissions to approved examination. So the courses which are studying and with practicals, labs, whatever, it all has been approved by the Pharmacy Council of Pakistan. First, approval examination, approval prescribed subjects, then the approval of the courses and labs by the Pharmacy Council. 17D says to prescribe the conditions and procedure for admission of candidates to an approved examination. Condition and procedure for admission of candidates to an approved exam. How you have to sit an examination. Condition for procedure for admission of candidates to an approved examination. How you sit examination. They have approved these prescribed conditions of such examinations. It is falls under the section 17(1)(d). Is it clear? Now 17(1)(e) says to lay down the standard of teaching to be maintained by institutions conducting the approved courses of study. The standard of teaching means how the qualification of the teachers. The standard of the teaching must be maintained in institution. What type of teachers are required for the teaching of these courses? So 17(1)(e) says to lay down the standard of teaching to be maintained by institutions conducting the approved courses of study. Now 17(1)(f) says to prescribe the equipment and facilities to be made available to the students. What type of equipments and facilities in labs, it all has been approved or prescribed by the Pharmacy Council of Pakistan. So 17(1)(f) says to prescribe the equipment and facilities to be made available to the standards must be approved by the Pharmacy Council of Pakistan. Then there is a 17(1)(g). Now, to recognize degree or diplomas in pharmacy for the purpose of registration as pharmacists. Now, as I told you, this all has to be approved under certain law. So this Pharmacy Act 1967 also says that the degrees or certificates or diplomas must be recognized by any legal body. So this is a legal body, that Pharmacy Council of Pakistan. They must have to recognize your degree, because if that institute is affiliated or is approved by the Pharmacy Council, naturally they will recognize its degree or certification, whatever they has to be done by a university. So 17(1)(g) says to recognize degrees or diplomas in pharmacy for the purpose of registration as pharmacists. Then they go for 17(1)(h) to cause inspection of institutions which conduct any courses of study in pharmacy and of the teaching imparted and examinations held by them. And I is there to do such other acts and things as it may be empowered or requires to do by or under this act. So there also be the regulator also. It's not they are sitting in the Islamabad and now they send their inspection teams. They set their regulation, they send their inspectors that they have to assess the facilities available in respective institute, in respective faculty, in terms of the equipments, in terms of the teachers, in terms of the different facilities which are laid down or which are prescribed by the Pharmacy Council. These inspectors or these inspection teams has to visit these institutions and then they assess. Means quality assurance of the education must be assessed by the Pharmacy Council of Pakistan. For such, they have to send some inspection teams, some committees, as you learned earlier. They send certain inspection committees or teams which they have to go and examine that the facilities or the standards prescribed by Pharmacy Council of Pakistan are met or not. If they found any discrepancy or difference less than that prescribed limits, they can cancel the affiliation, they can cancel the registration of that institute. So 17(1) says To cause an inspection institutions which conduct any courses of studies in pharmacy and of the teachings imparted, an examination held by them, and to do such other acts and things as it may be empowered or requires to do by or under this act. So they have to function as a regulator also. For such, they have to send inspection teams which have to visit these institutions. Then 17.2. The Central Council, with the previous approval of the central government, may be notification in the official gazette, make regulation for the purpose of subsection 1. Now, for the above section, the 17.1, they can make certain regulations because according to these laws, according to these bylaws, they have to inspect these institutions. So 17.2 says the Central Council or Pakistan Pharmacy Council with the previous approval of the central government may by notification in the official gazette make regulation for the purpose of the subsection 1. So these all things from A to I must have be regulated by under the law. So for such they have to make certain notifications of to prepare such laws for regulation. 18 says, now section 18 says approval of the examination. An institution or authority, including a provincial council, which holds an examination in pharmacy may apply to central council for approval of examination for the purpose of qualifying a person for registration as a pharmacist under this act. Now, the authority of the approval of any course exams lies with the Pharmacy Council of Pakistan or Central Pharmacy Council. So any institution or authority or department, including a provincial council, which holds an examination. Now, because for this, I can clear that for session B, that examination body is Provincial Pharmacy Council. And for the approval of these council, these courses, the authority lies with the Pharmacy Council of Pakistan. Now, these all institutions must be affiliated, must be registered with the Pharmacy Council of Pakistan. So 18.1 says, any institution or authority, including a provincial council, which holds an examination in pharmacy, may apply to Central Council for approval of the examination for the purpose of qualifying a person for registration as a pharmacist under this act. So every institute or every authority or every council for the examination, they must get approval from the Pharmacy Council of Pakistan or Central Pharmacy Council, whatever it is. Now 18.2 says, the Central Council or Pakistan Pharmacy Council, if it is satisfied after such inquiry as it may think fit, that the examination for the approval of which an application has been made under subsection 1 is in conformity with this act and the regulations, shall approve the examination and by notification in the official gazette declare it to be an approved examination for the purpose of qualifying a person for registration as pharmacist under this act. So when they examine these institutes, when they inspect these institutes, they assess the institutes, all the requirements laid down by the Pharmacy Council, if they are satisfied that this institute or the authority is meets with all the criteria required under the Act, then they approve these institutions in the Gazette of official Gazette of Pakistan, whatever it is. What they do by notification in the official gazette declare it to be an approved examination for the purpose of qualifying person for registration as a pharmacist under Act that can be Form D, whatever it is. So the section 18.2, again I repeat this, is that the Central Council or Pakistan Pharmacy Council, if satisfied after such inquiry means assessment, examination, visit over there, as it may think fit that the examination for the approval of which an application has been made under subsection 1, because if they receive any application under section 12, under 18.1 is in conformity that the Act and the regulation shall approve the examination and by notification in the official gazette declare it to be an approved examination for the purpose of qualifying a person for registration as a pharmacist under this act. Means whatever the courses, whatever the examination, whatever the degree, these all must be recognized or approved by the Pakistan Pharmacy Council. If any institute has not get any approval or recognition from Pharmacy Council, means it is unauthorized. That degree will not be acceptable for any purpose, for service, whatever it is. It may be known as unlawful degree over there. So whenever you have to go for admission in any institute, you must check that the courses or that institutes are registered with the Pakistan Pharmacy Council. Otherwise, that is unlawful. 19. Approval of courses of study. So 19.1 says, 19.1, any institution or authority which conducts a course of study in pharmacy may apply to the Central Council for approval of such course of study for the purpose of admission to an approved examination. So an institute or authority, whatever it is, which conducts the examination or course, because any university or any pharmacy council, provincial, so any institution or authority, both, because the provincial pharmacy council are also authorized to have examination of for a session of B category of pharmacy technicians. They are known as pharmacy B category. So the provincial pharmacy councils are authorized for the registration of B category means pharmacy technician. So any institutional authority means council which conducts courses of study in pharmacy may apply to Central Council for approval of such course of study for the purpose of admission to an approved examination. Because whether they for Pharm D, whether for they for B Pharm, whether for the pharmacy technician or apprentice pharmacists, they have to get approval from the Pharmacy Council of Pakistan. They must get registration from pharmacy. Any course, it must be approved by the Pharmacy Council of Pakistan. 19.2 says, the Central Council of Pakistan Pharmacy Council, if it is satisfied after such inquiry, as it may think fit that the course of study for the approval of which an application has been made under subsection 1 is in conformity with the SEC and the regulations, shall submit the application together with its recommendation to the central government and shall, upon the approval of the course of study by the central government, declare it by notification in the official gazette to be an approved course of study for the purpose of admission to an approved examination. So whatever they have to do the whole work. So if someone, institution or authority applied for such course, if it is approved by the Pharmacy Council, then they have to be declared by notification under the official gazette of Pakistan, where they show that these courses are approved. Is it clear? Any question? I think we have to finish over here after furnishing of the information. So section 20 says, every institution or authority which applies for the approval of an examination under section 18 or of a course study under section 19 or holds an approved examination or conduct an approved course of study shall furnish to the Central Council such information as the Council may from time to time require relating to. So what the requirements asked by the Pharmacy Council? Number one, A, The course of study conducted and training given, if they may ask for this. B, the examination held. C, the age at which the students may undergo the course of study. D, the equipment and facilities provided for the students. And E, matters generally pertinent to the course of study, training and examination, and standard of teaching. So these all requirements, these all conditions must be asked from the respective institutions, that whether they have these facilities available or not. Then they have to ask these facilities for the approval of the institution under section 18 or 19. So they may ask for these conditions. Number one, the course of study. Number two, no, B, the examination held. C, the age of which the students may undergo the courses of study. Equipment and facilities provided for the students mean they have various labs, they have various equipments, they have industrial labs, they have their mm, other requirements available. The facilities which are provided by the institute, they have to also check. Then matters generally pertinent to the course of study, training and examination and standard of teaching must be checked, must be asked by the council. So these institution has to furnish this information to the Pharmacy Council of Pakistan, because these are the courses that are approved are under section 18 and 19. So this information has to be have forwarded, have to be supplied to the Pharmacy Council of Pakistan for the act and for this purpose under section 18 and 19.